Greetings and hello everyone, Kaiser V here today to attempt to record and not die right now. And I want to talk about something today, because I just went to my school to pick up my transcripts and I met this teacher that I really liked, my fine arts teacher, and she just got back from a trip to the Holy Land, and she gave me some water from the Jordan River. She also has a necklace en route, which I'll be getting soon with the Jerusalem cross on it, and I'll be very happy to get that. But I don't have much time to record, so I'm just going to get straight to the skinny about what I wanted to talk about. As she was there, I asked her if they had, because there are lesser known sites in the Holy Land that are of more historical significance, less than religious, if you really want to see them. And one of the things I was curious about, two things, was if she by chance got to see, I doubt it would be on the official tour, if she got to see the tomb of Godfrey of Bouillon, the first protector of the Holy Sepulchre and King of Jerusalem, and if she also got to see his sword, which is there, which is in the tomb as well, in a glass case, and also if she happened to have pointed out to her the tower that Godfrey of Bouillon stormed with his crusaders to get into the city, and it also Patton also went there to go see the tower as well. So that's two great historic warriors who have stood on that tower. And I want to know. And she said, no, they didn't really mention any of that. They knew so much stuff about the Bible and the Holy Land and all that stuff. They were led around by a Palestinian Franciscan, you see. And I was very impressed with what she told me. You know, everything was very interesting. And what I wanted to really talk about was something she said is, no, they didn't show us a lot of the crusade stuff because they really resent any kind of occupation with what's going on right now. And in fact, at one point, the Franciscan Palestinian let slip, instead of saying the state of Israel, he said the Israeli occupation. Now, I don't know if some of you are confused about the fact that there are Palestinians who are not Muslim terrorists, and I'm not sure if some of you are aware of the fact that Palestinian Catholics have been lumped in with other Palestinians as far as the policy of the government of the state of Israel. And they haven't really been treated all that spectacularly. It's been pretty rough. They blocked off the Temple of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre during the Easter celebrations to anyone coming from Palestine, and that was devastating to a lot of people. And I'm surprised that did not make bigger news than it has. And it's become very problematic that the Israelis don't distinguish between the Palestinian Catholics and the Palestinian Muslim terrorists who are trying to, overthrow the state of Israel. It's become very dangerous to be any kind of Palestinian in Israel. And I'm not really going to say I'm for Hamas or the state of Israel, because I'm not. I care about the Palestinian Catholics who are caught in the middle. But see, here's the thing that she said that caused me alarm. They resent any kind of Western European occupation, and they view the Crusades as that. And to me, that was very sad, because, wow, of all the people who would help you right now, it would be the Crusaders. And, that's why they went there in the first place, to help their fellow Christians, and they did. And it just hurts me that we have, because the fact is, if the only reason the state of Israel exists is because the British government wanted them there, and then the U.S. has supported them while they're there, that's the only reason they're still there right now. And the only reason the war is still going on is because there are arms merchants and things and security contractors who are selling their services to both sides. And it's become a cash cow for anybody who has any kind of war profiteering. And it's become a disaster. So I really just, I wanted to talk about that, because to me, we have to remember something if we're going into these countries and we're liberating Christians there. It's not us going there, it's us going there to help them, okay? They're perfectly capable of governing themselves, all right? We have to let, my thing would to be, and I severely doubt any modern country is going to do this, but my advice would be, if I had any say in anything, let's let these Catholic and Christian minority groups have the say in the government. Let's not give it to whichever Muslim sect, Let's give it to one of these guys and then help them maintain control. No, that would be my advice, okay? Now, if they would whether or not they would even go for that, I don't know. I don't know how much their distaste for Western Europeans and all that stuff is. I don't know how deep-seated it is. I wasn't there. Obviously, I didn't get a read off this guy, But that just makes me sad that even Catholics in the region have this disdain for the Crusaders that liberated them, and if they were still here today, would do it again. That that makes me very sad, and I think that's something we have to keep in mind, is that present day events are influencing how people look at history. That's not how that should work at all. History should influence how we look at present day events. To do it the other way is to put the cart before the horse. You know, because if you don't look at the cause for the effect, you can't address the effect. I'm sorry, that's my grandmother. I'm going to go eat right now. I'm taking her to eat something. So, yeah. Back on the subject. It's a big problem when, we have to deal with these, people are putting history and being like, looking at history through modern day lenses. They're not looking at history as history. That's a big problem people have, and it causes people to dismiss whole epochs of history because they hear certain phrases and words and they automatically associate that with modern day events. That's not correct. You can't judge your future based off, you can't judge the past based off the future. You have to judge the future based off the past, because the only way you influence the future is in the past. Does that make any sense? Am I being too lofty? And that just makes me so sad to hear that there is this very little appreciation among Palestinian Catholics for the Crusaders. That makes me very sad. And however I could remedy that, I would. And honestly, the only way I can foresee the state of, any kind of peace in the Middle East is a restoration in some form or fashion of the Crusader states. But we have to give the native Catholics a large say in government. Otherwise, it will still feel like a foreign occupation. If they have the control, and we're just there to help, then we're getting somewhere. I would really prefer, of course I would like them to pay homage to us, but if they don't even want to do that, fine, we'll be equals, we'll be allies, if that's how you want to do this. And, in closing, I wanted to update you on that because that's something that surprised me. That's something that I didn't know and realize about what was going on in the region. So, I think we need to keep in mind that when people are looking back poorly on our history as Catholics, they're not really judging the historical epoch. They're judging based off of, present day events. And that's not the correct way to look at history. You have to look at history through history, because, history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme, that old saying. Things never happen the same way twice because it's very difficult to create the same conditions globally twice. For instance, the barbarian invasions were caused by something as relatively simple as it was getting too cold in the north for, Germanic pagans to live, so they moved south to find warmer climates. I mean, it was that simple. And you'll never recreate something like that necessarily, because I don't know about you, I don't have the power to control the weather. So in closing, I just want to say those things, let you guys know what I was able to learn from this random encounter. And secondly, that we need to make sure in our historical studies we're not judging the past based on present day events. That's a huge error to make when you're studying history, and you should never do that. You need to look at present day events through the lens of the past so you can understand it better, how you got to this point and what you may have to do to resolve the problem. And I also want people to realize, Ted Cruz made this mistake. I want people to realize there is no love between Palestinian Catholics and the state of Israel. It's not so much even mistreatment sometimes. It's just they've left them alone to be sandwiched between Hamas and other Muslim groups and, more Zionist, racist, Israeli Jews who literally just want all the Palestinians to bugger off and die, regardless of their religious affiliation. And, it just seems, it seems so depressing to me that, an entire nation would escape racially based genocide and oppression to unleash it on somebody else, but I guess that's the way of the world. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm in the middle of town right now, going on my way to eat dinner with my family here, who are being nice and quiet. Oh, they can actually see you. Oh well. So yeah, I will I'll talk to you guys later because I have to really pay attention to this traffic right now. Thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon on what you think of this video.